go fast and start to power slide. We salute you with the big blocks 4 wide. The ground-pounding, earth-shaking, window-rattling beast of the Northeast. It's the big block modified Super Dirt Car Series.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is Tuesday night. We're with the Coast to Coast Racing League. This is Got Your Six Racing Network. As always, we are racing for awareness of veterans issues. 22 veterans a day take their own lives. There's 22 too many. So we're doing our small part, get awareness out. So if you know a veteran out there, maybe you haven't heard from them in a while, maybe you can reach out and just check on them, make sure they're doing okay. You never know, that conversation could save a life. For tonight, Cool Ray, Hometown Heroes. The pro late models are here at Lernerville, getting ready to go at it. Heat number 1 is out on the track. It looks like the Brendan Lacey is on the front row on the pole. Steven Spees to his outside. Jeffrey Kemper, Barry Goldner in row number 2. Jeff Sharp, Terry Landis in row number 3. Bob DeGood and Randy Shreves will round out our field of 8 drivers in heat number 1. I believe everyone will go to the show tonight. Didn't check the numbers. Welcome back. Kind of a different night for Got Your 6 Racing Network. We got pro late models here at Lernerville. We'll follow that up with a little bit of asphalt racing. We'll be with the NASCAR trucks at Texas coming up next. It's been a while since we've done a hard surface race, but we're getting ready to do it. Pace truck has exited. Brendan Lacey, Randy Shreves.
Green flag, green flag.
Looks like we had kind of a single file restart. Randy Shreves jumps to the outside. Brendan Lacey in the 414 down low. Shreves gets a run off the top of 2. Pulls up to the rear bumper of Lacey. Can't quite make anything happen there. Bob DeGood in the 7 car. Like to thank Bob for his service to our country in the United States Air Force. 55 car. Steven Spees is on track. 36 of Barry Goldner is with us. Jeff Sharp in the 28. Terry Landis in the 161 machine. And Jeffrey Kemper did not take to the grid. Brendan Lacey opens up a big lead to start out the night. Currently has over a second lead over second place. That is the 56 of Randy Shreves. Spees has fallen in line on lap 4 of 6. Take a look at the pro late models getting around Lernerville. Looks like we got a couple of packs. Bob DeGood battling it out with the 28 of Jeff Sharp. That battle is for 4th position, which would typically be a transfer position. 1 lap to go. Brendan Lacey at the front of the field in the 414. He's on the high side, coming off at 2. It's a little bit over rotate there off at 2. Oh, that was the finish. 414, Lacey, Shreves, Spees, DeGood. Your top 4. Heat 2, Kurt Schatzer, Cody Graham on the front row. Zach Chapman, John Hine in row number 2. Tyler Benefield and Jeff Barker are in row number 3. Brandon Templeton and John Krupa in row number 4. Pace truck is getting ready to roll off of pit road. Kurt Schatzer in that 18 car will roll off on the pole. Driving the GY6RN dirt track bank machine. Driver out of Pennsylvania. Got John Hine on the 71 car on the outside of row number 2. Zach Chapman to his inside in the 72 machine. Both those cars, Cool Ray cars. Kurt Schatzer ready for the green flag. Green flag is out. We are underway. Schatzer and Graham on the front row. They stay 2 by 2. 72 car. Oh, contact by Kurt Schatzer. He will make way for John Hine. Now the Cool Ray boys are going to go at it. John Hine to the lead in the 71. Zach Chapman up to P2. Tyler Benefield in P3. Jeff Barker in the 513 Marine machine. As always, like to thank Jeff for his service in the United States Marine Corps. He's battling it out with Brandon Templeton. Templeton on the high side gets a good run off the top. Move Templeton up to P4 up front. John Hine, Zach Chapman. Hine now putting a little bit of space between himself and Chapman. Let's go on board with Tyler Benefield in the 224 car. He's closing in on the rear bumper of Zach Chapman. A little bogged down on exit. Over the top he goes. Brandon Templeton will get by in that 31 machine. So Benefield goes off the top here at Lernerville. John Hine cruising at the front of the field with 1 to go. 2 quarters to navigate. Hine comes into 3. Coming off a turn 4 will be John Hine, Zach Chapman, Templeton, and Benefield able to recover and save a P4 finish. We'll have 3 minutes of warm-up. We'll be right back.
The reverse for Lucy Olsen. She has her first point.
Yeah, Lucy Olsen, talented sophomore.
Welcome back. Warm-ups just wrapping up. Brandon Templeton in the 31 car at the top of the board with a 14.627. Brendan Lacey in P2, not far behind. Steven Spees still out on track in the 55 machine. He's running P4 or 3 with a 14.662. Kurt Schatzer in that 218 car going to try to get some redemption after making contact in his heat race going off the top ledge. Brendan Lacey, John Hine on the front row. Randy Shreve, Zach Chapman in row number 2. Steven Spees, Brandon Templeton in row number 3. Bob DeGood, Tyler Benefield in row number 4. Jeff Sharp, John Krupka in row number 5. Barry Goldner and Jeff Barker round out your field of 12 drivers. Bear with us, ladies and gentlemen, as I'm trying to pull up the stream key, as it appears that we are not coming live on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Give me one moment. See if we can't remedy that real quick.
Green flag, green flag.
Green flag is out. We are underway. Brennan Lacey
Caution, yellow flag.
see if that didn't do the trick here. He didn't miss much up front as the caution came out. John Hine at the front of the field. Randy Shreves, MP2. 55 car of Speeds as they wait for the pace truck to catch up here. So we'll get ready to do again on lap 3 of 30. Lacey on the point with John Hyde on his rear bumper. Randy Shreves, P3 with the 55 of Steven Spees in P4. Mr. Bob DeGood in P number 5, followed by Jeff Sharp, Terry Landis, Jeff Barker, Jeffrey Kemper, and Kurt Schatzer round out. Oh, Barker just went down to the inside there. Pace truck will exit this time by. Lights are off. Pace truck will exit. Leaving the field to the 414 up. Brendan Lacey on lap 4 of 30.
Green, green, green.
Green flag is out. We are back underway. Single file restart. Brendan Lacey on the point. Those cars running up high. First car down low. The 7 car of Bob DeGood. Jeff Sharp follows him down on the bottom side. Now DeGood slides up a little bit. We got somebody off the top. Let's take a look. See if we can't find who. Now we're riding along with the 71 of John Hine. Just gets into the outside wall. Able to hold on to it in the 71. Spees in the 55, Shreves in the 56. Spees slides down low, gets up into the front end of the 56 of Shreves. No place for Shreves to go. Goes off the top. So we'll line them up and try once again. Tonight's replay is brought to you by Malcolm's Mills Mill Riding. Lights should go off on the pace truck this time by. Still on lap 3 of 30. Now 4 of 30, I guess. We're going to double it up here. You'll have Brendan Lacey with John Hine to his outside. Spees into good in row number 2. Pace truck is off, leaving the field to the 414 of Brendan Lacey.
Green flag, green flag.
They're going to go side by side. John Hine with a good run on the high side. Hine gets to the outside of the 414 with a good run off of 2. Hine to the lead in the 71 car. Brendan Lacey falls back to P2, and we got a mess behind him.
The yellow flag is out.
Caution comes back out. Somebody went off the top in a big hurry. Watch the 7 car of Bob DeGood, the red and white machine. Trying to go into the corner 3 wide. DeGood slides up in front of Barker. Launches off a middle of 3 and 4 into the wall there. So he'll go in for his quick repair and get back out on track. John Hine was able to get the lead. Steven Spees in P2. Brendan Lacey falls back to P3 on that restart. Jeff Sharp behind Lacey in that 28 machine, followed by Jeffrey Kemper in the 181. Kurt Schatzer in the 218 machine. Tyler Benefield is P7 in the 224. Cody Graham in the 08 machine is P8. John Krupa, I guess. Apologize, John. Is in P9. Brandon Templeton rounds out your top 10. At the moment, John Hine on the point. Lights are off on the pace truck, getting ready to go once again. Pace truck is off, leaving the field to John Hine with Steven Spees right behind him.
Green, green, green.
We are back underway. Hine on the high side. Single file restart. As you saw, Hine Spees on the top side. The 28 of Jeff Sharp is the first one to go down low. Looks like the high side's the place to be as Brendan Lacey holds on to P3. Jeff Sharp hung down low. Good run off the top by the 181, the driver out of Oregon. That is Jeffrey Kemper. He's bringing Kurt Schatzer along with him on the high side. No room for the 28 to get up to that high side. Now the 414 of Brendan Lacey dropped down low, kind of ran the middle. Up front, we're about to have a battle. Steven Spees, he's all over the rear bumper. Up that 71 of John Hine. Those two putting on a heck of a show up front, Spees and Hine. Running the high side. They might have made contact. Spees might have got into the back of the 71. Little slide job with a crossover coming. Hine able to hold on to the lead.
The yellow flag is out.
Caution comes out. Looks like Barry Goldner there. It's the 36 car upside down. Let's take a look. Looks like he over rotates there, coming into 3. Bob DeGood had a rough race so far. Gets into the side of the 36. John Hine able to hold on to the lead. Looks like the back of that 71 car beat up a little bit. The 55 looks pretty good. So this will be interesting. See if that dinged up rear spoiler will affect the handling on the 71. Trying to run that high side and use all the downforce you can get.
Green flag, green flag.
John Hines still with your lead in the 71 machine. Steven Speed still P2. Brendan Lacey recovering in the 414. Starting to get a rhythm in that red and white machine. He's up to the back bumper of Spees. Kurt Schatzer throws it down low in the 218. He's currently in P4. Kemper has fallen back to P5 as the caution comes out for Randy Shreves. Running alongside the 224. Gets a little bit of help there. A little tap over the top he goes. As the pace truck catches up, John Hines, Steven Speed's been at the front of the field the majority of the race. Lap 17 of 30. We get a word with your top three at the conclusion of the race. So, Hine, Spees, Lacey, your top three. Kurt Schatzer, Jeffrey Kemper round out the top five. Sharp, Chapman, Templeton, Benefield, Terry Landis are your top 10. Lights are off on the pace truck. John Hine, once again, will bring the field to the green flag. Pace truck is off, leaving the field to the 71 car.
Green flag, green flag.
Speeds with a great restart right with the 71. Both those cars dive down low in 1 and 2. Lacey stays up high in the 414. Schatzer now, he takes a look down low, trying to get underneath the 414 of Lacey. Can't quite close the deal there. Spees and John Hine changed their line in 1 and 2. Both those cars decide to go down low. Lacey keeps the 414 up high. On the nose of the 414, you can see him working the high side. Lap 22 of 30, John Hines, Spees, Brennan Lacey. Been the running order for the majority of the race. Kurt Schatzer once in the top three. First one on the outside looking in at a podium. Looks like we got a wad of cars. Jeff Sharp, Jeffrey Kemper, and Zach Chapman, Brandon Templeton. Chapman thought about diving down low. These guys running out of laps in a big hurry. They're going to make their way up front. It's go time. Steven Spies made a pass on John Hine. Hine's going to try to cross over. They'll go down low. Hine, Spies, side by side. Lacey goes off the top. The 414 of Brennan Lacey, running in third place, goes off the top behind Hine and Spies. Let's take a look at what happened. That red and white car, the 414, Spies and John Hine dive for the bottom in one. Lacey keeping the 414 up high, just goes over the edge, can't hold on to the top. So that'll mix things up at the front of the field. That should put Kurt Schatzer in the final podium position on lap 26 of 30. Pace truck is off, leaving the field to Lacey. Can Lacey hold off the 71 of John Hine?
Green, green, green.
Lap 26 of 30. Hine decides to go up high that time by. Looked like we were going to go four wide with Sharp, Kemper, Schatzer, and Hine. Steven Spies opening up a little bit of a lead. Now Spies not quite all the way to the bottom. Sees that 71 car running the outside. Spies moves up about 2 car widths. Hine into the wall on the front stretch, able to continue. Two to go. Spies at the front of the field, opening up a gap between himself and John Hine. Hine now has Schatzer breathing down the rear bumper of that 71. You got Hine up high. Schatzer trying to work the bottom with 1 to go. Spies in the 55, coming off of turn 2. 2 more corners to navigate for the 55 machine. He keeps that 55 up high, coming off of 4 will be Spies. Hine, Schatzer, Kemper, Sharp, and Templeton. We will get a word with your top 3 here momentarily once they get in line and get their podium shot here. Try to get a word with the 218 car of Kurt Schatzer, waiting for him to get up in the booth. See if we can't get a word with him. There is Kurt Schatzer in the 218 car. He moves up 13 from his starting position. Kurt, this is Joe. You got me?
Yeah, I hear you, Joe. Sorry, I was taking a drink.
No worries, man. Great run. You moved up 13 positions. What was the secret to getting up towards the front?
I think a lot had to do with them cautions early. A lot of guys were getting caught up and going over. I gotta give a big apology to Kemper there. I like racing with him a lot. Made a little bit of contact coming out of two. Like I said, I hate making contact with him. I like racing with him a lot.
Yeah, man, it happens, right? Kind of a racing deal. Did you think you had anything for the top two? Did you need more laps, or was that about it in that 218?
Yeah, maybe more laps would have helped, and them guys getting to racing a little bit more, and they were putting on a pretty good show up front there. So, I mean, if they got to battle a little bit more, maybe I could have. I think that's what happened with Lacey. They got to battling, and he tried to get a little extra out of it, and went over, and that's where I got my third place finish out of. I don't think I would have. I really had anything for them guys. The top was working.
Yeah, man, great run by that 218. Who do you want to thank for your podium finish?
Yeah, I got to thank the sponsor there, Dirt Track Bank. Jay does a lot for us in the league, and Got Your Six Racing Network with you. You do a great job for the team and everybody, and like thank you for filling in and the team, Hammer Down Racing, Brandon Templeton, Brian Dickens, and you of course. So thank you.
Yeah, man, you're gonna race. You're gonna race the truck race at Texas coming up.
No, I had a long day. I'm a little fried, so I just wanted to jump in here. The late models are my favorite, so I wanted to make sure to get out for that, and I off the bed.
All right, man, great run, Kurt.
All right, thank you. See ya.
Yeah, man. John Hine in the 71 car ran up front the entire race. He started second, finished second. John, this is Joe. You got me?
I do. How are you, Joe?
Man, I am super well. You two at the front of the field put on a heck of a show. We actually missed the pass by Steven. Next thing I knew, you were running in P2. You changed your line late. Did you think that the high line came back in? Because Spees also moved up about 2 car widths once you did that. Is the high side the place to be late?
Yeah, it was, and I probably should have stayed up there, but I saw a lot of tack down there, and I thought, well, let me give this a try because sometimes there, especially over in one and two, you can really make ground up over there, and I have in the past, and it was actually working there for a brief bit, and then I thought I got the harebrained idea to try it over in three and four, and that just kind of killed momentum, and Steven got me, and we're going to have a gambler meeting now and institute, team orders not to pass a 71. So, we'll call that the Steven Spees rule for the team. So, but
Yeah,
he
man.
did great. He did great, and I do want to apologize to Kurt. I think I got into him in the heat. I saw he and the 08. I thought they were going over the edge there, and I don't know if he saved it or what. My teammates were watching and they said, "Oh, yeah, you guys made a little contact." I didn't know it, but so I do want to send my apologies to Kurt there if I messed him up a little bit on that opening lap of the heat.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll appreciate it. Man, so do you think that you had anything for Spees? Because he didn't seem to go up to the top as quick as you did. He moved about to the middle. Do you think you had anything for him with a
Yeah,
few more laps?
yeah, he had me beat. I made an adjustment, one of the couple that you can make with the set, and I should have adjusted for the track getting slicker, and I didn't. So I had a handful the second half of that race. That car was wanting to over rotate really bad.
Well, you brought her home P2, man. No complaints. Shouldn't have any complaints. I know I wouldn't. Who do you want to thank on that 71 for a P2 finish?
Well, I'd like to thank you for coming in and broadcasting. I love listening to you broadcast. I think you're one of the best in the biz, so I can't wait to go back and watch it. Want to thank everybody that's tuned in here tonight. Want to also thank Extreme Speed TV for coming on to title sponsor everything. The Cruise Shop, Gambler Motorsports, all the guys down there, they make it a lot of fun. Except for tonight, I'm a little salty with Steven. That no passing thing really needs to be discussed. But last and definitely not least, gotta thank my wife. Married the perfect woman. She lets me do this and doesn't give me a lot of grief for it. So need to give her a shout out when I can.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. You gonna run the trucks? You and I did broadcast few weeks
Uh,
of asphalt
yes,
together. You going to run the trucks tonight?
I am, and you may want to keep the camera on me because I'm probably going to be a moving chicane, and then probably a lot of action is going to be caused by me not knowing what the hell I'm doing out here. But we're going to have fun. That's what we're going to try to do.
All right, man. We'll see you in the trucks.
Absolutely. Thanks again, Joe.
Yeah, man. Steven Spees in the 55 brings her home P1, moved up 4 from his starting position. Steven, this is Joe. You got me?
I got you, Joe.
Man, you two put on a great show up front. You kind of all ran, or you and John ran the same line. When he went down low, you went down low in 1 and 2. How'd you make the pass, man? I apologize, I missed it. How'd you get by that 71?
I don't remember exactly where it happened either, to be quite honest with you. I was getting good runs off of him in 3 and 4, though, and I think we kind of started playing around and trying different lines. I was trying to find wherever he wasn't to see if I could make it work, and he was probably knew I was right on his bumper and needed to figure out if there was something better down low. So, one of those times finally just got there, I think, on his outside, and then it's a lot easier when somebody's not right in front of you and you got clear track. So I was able just to focus and go from there.
So he threw it up high, kind of late in the race, probably last 5, I would say, to go. Did you see him go up high? You were still down low in 1 and 2. You moved up probably to the middle, but never to the high side. Did you see him up there?
No, I didn't. I didn't know where John was running once I got around him. I know I didn't hear him, and I saw my relative that there was at least a little bit of a gap. But towards as we were getting late in the race, I think I tried top in 1 and 2, and also in 3 and 4, and in lap times. I was getting a couple 2 or 3 tenths quicker, kind of going into the corner low to mid, and just kind of letting it slide up, getting that car straight and being able to get on throttle early instead of riding around the rim. So just stuck with what got me there, and lap times were still good, so just stuck with it.
Yeah, man, your patience paid off. You brought it home P1 in that 55 machine. Who do you want to thank for your victory?
Yep, just always like to say thanks to all the Gambler teammates. That was a lot of fun racing with John. We're usually really even, and I think it showed there. We had a lot of close racing, and at least for once we didn't crash each other, which was nice. And thank you for coming in and taking care of the broadcast here and making this happen. We appreciate that.
Yeah, man, you guys watch the broadcast back. You might not invite me back. Forgot where the buttons are. I forgot. Man, takes 3 weeks at my age. You forget everything. So, yeah, man.
Yeah, you're focused on that real stuff now. So we gotta chat about that too, Joe. Check your stagger. I saw your video. It looks like your car's turning a whole lot. Check your stagger.
I love it, man. Send me a message. I'll take all the help we can get.
I know the feeling, man. Hopefully you're having fun, but whenever we're not doing that, we have fun here doing the pretend stuff, and have a good time still.
Yeah, man. Thank you. Have a good night.
Thanks, Joe.
Yes, sir. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. There are the Pro Late Models Coast to Coast Racing League. We are at Lernerville. Tonight is Cool Ray Hometown Heroes. We will take a quick break. When we come back, we will be in Texas on the hard surface with the NASCAR truck. So we'll take a break. We'll be right back.
History repeats itself. History is always happening over and over again. So one of the ways to stop a theme, one of the ways to stop something from reoccurring is to first of all admit it. It didn't take long for us to quickly realize that there was power behind Mission 22, power behind its brand, power behind its message, and power behind its people that represented it.
All right, my friends, day 19 of 22, the 22-day push-up challenge. Day 19 means 418 men and women have possibly committed suicide in the last 19 days. I went and looked up my ship, the USS Rushmore. More people who have killed themselves by now than ever served on our ship at one time in just 19 days.
19, 20, 21. One more. Y'all ready for the last one?
Mission 22 has become a decentralized nationwide effort to show love, to raise money, to be available for other warriors, to be able to be a point of contact, to let the warriors know, but also for warriors to let other warriors know that there is a community. You're not alone. This isn't happening in silence. You're not forgotten. You know, we brought 4 veterans from all different parts of the United States and brought them together to hike through the state of Oregon.
May God bless you on your journey. Thank you for serving our country and for being willing to go on this walk. I'm praying you feel peace and strength with each mile.
You know, on this hike, some folks found God, some folks remained sober, some folks lost a significant amount of weight to be able to participate. And not so much just a healing walk for us as warriors, but for us to contribute to other people's healing. You know, this hike, we raised $12,000 for endobiogeny. Some of the folks on this hike, you know, they're going to be volunteers for this treatment. And I couldn't be more pleased and more proud because it was difficult. We had a lot of struggles. Not everything on this hike went pretty, you know, but we put some skin in the game. At the end of the day, we were able to raise money, and we'll be able to use that money so guys can get the treatment that they need. The War at Home Monument is an example of our social impact, of our awareness, of our permanent fixture to do the work that we can't always do, to always remind us of what we've lost and what we will lose if we don't reconcile it. What we've done is taken 20 different veterans with their families' permission and used them as a silhouette to cut out of a 3,000-pound plate of steel. These warriors are placed in a V, and this is to show the size of the problem. This is to show the empty space they leave behind. And it's also to be a constant reminder of what happens when we don't listen to the stories of the warriors that fought in our name. Because it's not okay. It's not okay that everyone didn't know about veteran suicide. It's not okay that these things were a secret or left unsaid, or that it was shameful. It's not okay that it's shameful to suffer alone and suffer in silence, because if you ask for help, that you're no longer a warrior, that you're weak.
Yeah. So I come back and I thought everybody else changed. So I pushed my family away. And it took a long time to really realize it because I didn't want to look internally. You know, I got my Class A CDL and hit the road. I was on the road for about 8 years trucking. And this makes me think about how insignificant all of the major things going on are. I mean, what, 1 million years ago, that blew up. And, you know, over time became this.
Whether it's hiking mountains or building monuments, it takes a community to heal a warrior. Warriors didn't get damaged and didn't become separated from the sunlight of the spirit on their own. It happened in the name of this nation. We can change the way we think about war, how we think about warriors, how we think about ourselves, and what we think we're going to do in the American community. We can do it now. We can do it here. And there's going to be another generation of warriors coming. We can set the tone to create a culture that grabs them up and loves them and smothers them in resources, in opportunity, right now.
Welcome back. We are at Texas Motor Speedway. NASCAR trucks, little change of pace for us. The trucks are out on the track. It looks like Brad Wetzel at the top of the board. Sean Grace in that 27 car. He is P3 so far. Take a look at the leaderboard. Joe Canellis is with us in that one machine. Brennan Lacey in the 414. We saw him in the Pro Late Models. Mike Cramner in the 70 machine. Cody Graham in the 08 out on track. Peter Thompson. Looks like we got a full field. Jeff Fitzpatrick in that 90 machine. Barry Goldner back with us in the 36. As we have advanced to qualifying. Let's see, we'll try to follow the cars as they come out on the track. See who comes out first here. Steven Bixler in the 75, the Salty Dog sponsor, in conjunction with Lucy Olson sponsored the NASCAR trucks. Steven Bixler, John Rayner in the 302 out on track. Chris Schaefer in the 23 is with us. Gary Offit in the 94. Take these guys a little while to get wound up. Dominic Galanti in the 823 out on track. Cody Graham coming off a pit road in the 08 machine. John Hine, we talked to John after the Pro Late Model race in that 71. Peter Thompson at the top of the board, 30.229. Now Doyle Lowrance in the 3 machine, 32.13 for the 3 car. The driver out of the Houston area in Texas. Now Dominic Galanti. Sean Grace to the top of the board. In the 27.30.070 for Sean Grace. That drops Dominic Galanti down to P2. Chris Schaefer jumps up. Doyle Lowrance captures the lead on his second lap in that 3 machine, 30.008. Robert Lynch breaks the 30 barrier with a 29.908 for Robert Lynch in the 121 machine. Sean Grace jumps up to P2, 29.914 for Grace as he shuts down the 27 machine. Robert Lynch shuts down the 121. Sean Grace broke the 30-second barrier, 29.914 for a second place finish. Kyle Moonen in the 24 is with us. 30.012 on his first lap in the 24 truck. Can he improve this time by jumps up 1? 29.996 for the 24. Barry Goldner shuts it down P7. Steven Spees P10 in the 55. 30.112 for Spees. Peter Thompson still out on track. 12th quick, 32.14, shuts it down in the 04 machine. Jack Clevenger in that 78, currently 14th quick, 32.84 for Clevenger. '43 of Wetzel. 11th quick for Brad, 30.137. Pulls up right behind Steven Spees. Can he improve on his second lap? Spees in the 55, Wetzel in the 43. The last 2 cars. Yes, sir. Wetzel 30.023, 5th quick. Can Spees improve? He goes across the line. $31.12 for the 55. Coming off a turn number 4. Dives the 55 down to the bottom. '11th quick for Spees, 30.112, out getting practice laps. So that will wrap up qualifying. Robert Lynch, Sean Grace, Kyle Moonen, Doyle Lowrance, Brad Wetzel, your top 5 in qualifying. Robert Lynch, Sean Grace on the front row, followed by Kyle Moonen and Doyle Lowrance in row number 2. Brad Wetzel, Gary Siegelkow in row number 3. Mike Cramner, Barry Goldner in row number 4. Dominique Galante and Chris Schaefer in row number 5. Stephen Spees, Cody Graham in 6. Peter Thompson, Jack Clevenger in row number 7. Joe Canellis and John Hine in row number 8. Gary Offit, Alex Parmalu in row number 9. Jeff Fitzpatrick, Stephen Bixler in row number 10. Donovan Ross, Roland Olson in row number 11. John Rayner, John Krupka in row number 12. Zachary Chapman, Nick Shell in row number 13. Brendan Lacey, Daniel Blau round out your field of 28 drivers. Drivers getting their final instructions. As the field rolls off of pit lane. See the sponsors of the NASCAR trucks on the top of the windshield there by Robert Lynch, Lucy Olson, and the Salty Dogs. Tonight's race brought to you by Cool Ray, sponsors Hometown Heroes. Sean Grace to the outside of that 121 in the Red Bull machine. Kyle Moonen in the 24 with Doyle Lawrence to his outside in the 3. "75 laps here at Texas." Asphalt's kind of new to Coast Racing League. I have not raced in an asphalt race. I take that back. I think I ran in a couple with Coast Racing League, but it's been a long time. They are a part of the show now. As the pace truck dives off of the track, coming off of turn 4, will leave the field to Robert Lynch Jr. in the 121. The green flag is out. Sean Grace, I believe, was the winner champion in the somebody hard into the inside wall. Kyle Moonen making a run up through the field. As the caution comes out, I did not see who it was, nor did the board pick it up. We will line them back up and try once again. Pace truck has the field gathered. We're getting ready to go back green. See if we can't find the standings here real quick. Sean Grace, Chris Schaefer at the top of the board on the point standing, followed by Rayner, Wetzel, Kyle Moonen is P5, Doyle Lawrence P6. Lights are off on the pace truck. In the cockpit with Robert Lynch Jr., your current leader. Go with second place, Vanderbilt 24 of Kyle Moonen as he goes up through the gears. Trying to pull up to the rear bumper of that 121. Might have pulled up to the rear spoiler of that 121. Might have got him a little bit loose. Top three trying to get single file. Brad Wetzel kind of gets shuffled out. Doyle Lawrence with a little bit of space between himself and that 43 car. Going to go three wide. That is the 04 down low, 55 in the middle. They make contact. Might have been Mike Cramner on the outside that got shuffled back. Nose to tail at the front. 43 car starting to catch up to the rear of the bumper of Sean Grace. Looks like they all get out of line going into turn number one. Got quite a bit of gap between the last car. That is the 3 car of Doyle Lawrence, Cody Graham. In the 08, running by himself, Clevenger, and the 04 of Peter Thompson in P7 and 8. It's a ways back to the 55 of Speeds. That's the blue and orange car. John Hine, Alex Parmerlew, and Canellis. Canellis stays up high. Parmerlew in the 397 goes down low. Gets a good run off the bottom. Parmerlew is going to run up alongside the 71. Parmerlew rolling the bottom super well, getting a good run. You're not missing much up front. Still nose to tail. Lynch, Moonen, Grace, Wetzel, Doyle, Lawrence. Now the Wetzel and Lawrence were a bit behind. They've been able to catch up to the front pack. Go side by side with the 43. That's Lawrence on the bottom in the 3. The 43 of Brad Wetzel on the high side.
The yellow flag is out.
Moonen will take over the lead in the Bandy Built number 24. Robert Lynch ducked into the pit road from the lead. He comes back out in 12th position. Kyle Moonen, Sean Grace, your top 4 did not pit. Top 5. Joe Canellas coming back down pit lane, get some repairs. Trying to get the one car repaired back out on the track. See the right side of that truck going up in the air. Off he goes. So lap 15 of 75. A little bit of pit strategy, which is not something that I'm super used to. We'll have to keep an eye on Robert Lynch Jr. in the 121. Dove to pit road from the lead, led the first 10 laps or so. So we'll double it back up. Kyle Moon and Sean Grace on the front row. We will go green next time by. Lights are off on the pace car. Moonen, Grace, Wetzel, Lawrence, Thompson, Clevenger in the 78. Chris Schaefer moves up. Biggest mover of the race, that's Steven Bixler in the 75 machine. The Salty Dog Ride, he's up 12 from his start.
Green flag, green flag.
Green flag is out. We are back underway. Kyle Moonen in the Vanderbilt number 24 takes the lead. Sean Grace falls into P2, followed by Wetzel and Lawrence. Wetzel not able to hold the bottom, or didn't want the bottom. Anyway. '36 car. We're still 2 by 2. Fitzpatrick in the 90. Running with the 121. There he is down on the bottom. .302 of Rayner trying to get up through the field. 75 thought about coming down low, thought better of it. Keeps that ride on the outside. We're 2 by 2 in the back. We're at P8 through about 14. Up front, Grace takes over the lead. That's your points leader. Wetzel P2. Monin gets shuffled back to third. Doyle Lawrence in that 3 car holding steady in P3, taking a look on the inside of the 24. Doyle Lawrence has done a little bit of truck racing, I know for sure. It's like the top 7 broke away from the field. Chris Schaefer in that orange and black ride. John Rayner leading the second group in the 302, followed by Graham. Lynch back up to 10th position. Steven Spees in the 55, Shell in the 58 machine. John Hine in the 71, running P21. Got the 98 car in front of him. That's Kruppa. Joe Canellis back on track in that 1 machine. We saw him come in, had to use quick repair. Pulls alongside the 5 car. Looks like everybody's starting to get settled out here. Brennan Lacey up 16 positions as the caution comes back out. Looks like John Rayner. Oh, makes a little contact with the 121. That turns Rayner around. Take a look from the blimp cam. 302. Looks like the 121 might have slid off the bottom a little bit. This makes slight contact. Didn't see who got into the 302 after that. I think we're going to see it right here. That's the 5 car. Donovan Ross, I believe. So, bunch of cars on pit road. Gary Sigelkow stays out. He inherits the lead. Everyone else pitting on lap 26 of 75. Sigelkow. John, I know I'm getting your name wrong. Krupa probably. He's up 22 in the 98. Gary Offit in the 94. He's up 14. Brad Wetzel and Sean Grace rounds out your top 5. So the pace car is still out on track. We still have some cars on pit road. Gary Sigelkow followed by John. Gary Offit in the 94 is P3. Wetzel in the 43. Your points leader, Sean Grace, in the 27 ride is currently in P5, followed by Lawrence, Kyle Moonen, Chris Schaefer, and Robert Lynch Jr. So we're going to double it up. Get ready to go back green on lap 28 of 75. We have a long way to go. Looks like your front runners, the 43 car of Wetzel, is about the closest to the front of the field of the early front runners. He's got Grace, Lawrence, Moonen, and Schaefer right with him. Green flag is out. We are back underway. It is Gary Siegelcow at the front of the field. Breaks away from the field a little bit there. Brad Wetzel in the 43 makes a good move to the outside of the 98. 27 of Grace. Doyle Lawrence following the 27 of Grace to the front. Saw some contact back in the field. Bunch of cars involved. See what happened here. It looks like the 121 goes down, makes contact with the 94. Bunch of cars involved in that one. Gary Siegelcow able to hold on to that front position. Has not pitted yet, I don't think. Got Wetzel, Grace, Lawrence, Schaefer, Moonen lined up right behind him. Mike Cramner getting his lap back, it looks like. John Rayner able to get back out on track in the 302 machine. 121 of Robert Lynch Jr. Don't know how many quick repairs they get in trucks. Roger Craig telling 2 repairs. 2 quick repairs in the truck series. Gary Sigelkow still at the front of the field in the 25 machine. Again, I don't think he's pitted yet. Lights are still on the pace car. Working lap 33 of 75. Going to double it up once again. So the 25 has not pitted, I don't believe. Wetzel in the 43 has. Sean Grace in the 27 has. Lawrence, Schaefer, Moonen have all pit. So the top three breaking away from the field a little bit here. Now we got different pit strategies out on track. That is our first green flag pit stop. See how that plays out. It's like the front two are now starting to pull away from Kyle Moonen in the 24 as these tires get wore. Different driving strategy. The 121 of Robert Lynch making his way back towards the front. Got by Parmalu in the 397. Bixler running in the top 10 currently. He's got John Hine and Doyle Lawrence and Jack Clevenger coming. John Hine jumps to the outside, gets behind the 75, slows the momentum of the 71. Clevenger and Lawrence trying to get by on the bottom. You can see the 78 gets super loose. War tie. Oh! Steven Spies to the infield. No caution. Jack Clevenger getting super loose on War tires. Gets by the 3. You can hear we got more cars going to pit lane. Jack Clevenger still fighting that 78 car. He'd be ready for tires here at any moment. I don't have a good pit lane camera. There is a group of cars on pit lane on lap 54 of 75. Alex Parmalu takes over the lead. Herdhead Parmalu's going to pit this time by. John Hines going to pit this time by. So Grace and Wetzel still at the front of the field. On lap 61 of 75. So we're getting down there. Kyle Moonen is a ways back from second place Wetzel in the 24. Moonen pushes way out wide at the exit of turn 4. He's got Mike Cramner behind him. Cody Graham in P4. Brennan Lacey running right with us, with him and Chris Schaefer. So that's a battle for position between those three. That is 4th, 5th, and 6th. Peter Thompson is P8. Dill Lawrence trying to get by Joe Canellis, and he will do so. Siegel Cow in the 25, John Hine in the 71, P12. Clevenger in that 78 machine.
The yellow flag is out.
Caution comes out after a long run. Looks like the 25 of Gary Siegel Cow was involved. See if we can get a look. There's the 25 running with John Hine. Just slides out to the outside wall, comes back down into the 823. So caution comes out on lap 66 of 75. Sean Grace didn't want to see that come out. Yeah, we'll bring the field back to the rear bumper of Grace and Wetzel. Grace still at the front of the field with Wetzel and Moonen. Kyle Moonen, a few lap cars between himself and Wetzel. Looks like Cramner in the 75 is there. Brendan Lacey up 22 positions from the start in the 414. Fitzpatrick in the 90 car. Coming back out on track. As the lights go off on the pace truck, at my board, it looks like the 90 car is the last car on the lead lap in P13. Looks like Brendan Lacey running the apron might be trying to get some fuel to that fuel pickup. So here we go. Pace car will make its left-hand exit onto pit lane.
Green flag, green flag.
Green flag is out. Sean Grace with the lead. Kyle Moonen trying to go with him. We've seen the 27 and 43 run nose to tail most of the race. Now Moonen between the two. Brendan Lacey in the 414. He's up 23 positions. The 08 of Graham to his outside. Moonen all over the rear bumper of that 27. Look back from your leader, Sean Grace, on lap 71 of 75. Grace, Moonen, Wetzel, Lacey, Graham, your top five. When it was time to go, it looks like the 24 got the message, started at the front, Your top 3 started in the top 5 for the night. Two laps to go. Grace at the front of the field. Kyle Moonen, P2. Wetzel, final podium position. Brennan Lacey, will his luck run out at 23 positions that he's moved up from the start? Cody Graham all over the rear bumper of Lacey. White flag is out. Cody Graham making a big move on the bottom in the 08. Lawrence is going to try to go with him, as is the 121 of Robert Lynch Jr. At the line, Grace, Moonen, Wetzel, your top 3. Graham, Lawrence, Lacey, Lynch Jr., Clevenger, Thompson, Canellis, your top 5. Brennan Lacey in the 414 moved up 21 positions from the start and brings that machine home in P6. We will get a word with your top 3 as soon as they get a podium picture. As we got some celebrations going on here. Get a word with your top 3 here momentarily. See if we can get Brad Wetzel up in the booth. Don't see anybody yet. Still waiting on the 43 car of Brad Wetzel. Tonight's Hometown Heroes brought to you by Cool Ray. Tonight's race brought to you by there is Brad Wetzel. My apologies, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get the 43 car in the booth. Brad, this is Joe. You got me?
Hey, Joe. How's it going? Yeah, I do.
Hey, man. Great run in the 43. Kind of hung around the front all night long. Monin was able to jump in between you and Sean there at the end. Man, walk us through your night. How'd the truck feel? Did your pit strategy play out like you thought it would?
Yeah, pitch strategy, first off, we got pretty lucky. We decided to stay out that first caution, and we had a kind of a decent run there. We were worried we were going to have to pit under green, but luckily we caught a caution like 3 laps before we ran out of fuel. The truck felt good. You had to take care of manage the right front, definitely through 1 and 2, or else you developed a real bad push. But if you took care of the right front, you could keep some speed on the long run. Yeah, Sean, I kind of was just trying to be in position and save some tire, and then real late caution came out and put Kyle in between us there, and that that kind of messed the game plan up a little bit.
Yeah, man, late caution, right? Always adds complexity to the race. We saw a lot of cars, as is typical at Texas, getting loose off the exit of turn 4 into that outside wall. Did you have any problems in that particular area? Were you prepared for that?
Yeah, no, I didn't really feel any issues through 3 and 4. It was really 1 and 2. It would definitely step out. The rear end would get loose through the center of 1 and 2 if you didn't lift. But no, I didn't notice anything in 3 or 4.
All right, man. Great run by that 43. You started 5th, brought it home on the podium. So a great night all in all, man. Who do you want to thank on that ride for your podium finish?
Yeah, first I got to thank the Bandybuilt guys and Stephen Goldner for the awesome paint job. I'll just need to remember to change my wheels next week. I got to thank C2C and Roger Craig and everyone for putting the series on. I got to thank you for being in the booth. They're always entertaining to watch. I appreciate the time and effort, energy you put into this.
Yeah, man. Great run. Have a great evening.
You too, sir.
All right, man. Kyle Moonen moves up 1 from the start. Kyle, this is Joe. You got me?
Yeah, I got you. Yep.
Hey, man. Great run in the 24. You kind of moved to the back, not all the way to the back, and worked your way back up through the field in that Budweiser Bandy-built machine. Used to seeing that in a sprint car, and here you are in a truck at Texas getting it done, man. How was your ride tonight?
Oh, it was good. It was really good. Made a few mistakes there on pit road and kind of at the beginning over driving, 1 and 2. But this pavement stuff's fun, to be honest with you. I had fun with it.
Yeah, a little bit different, right? That's a whole different mindset, I would think. I don't drive the hard surface that often, but man, is it patience or what is it? What's the difference, do you feel, between like a sprint car and running the NASCAR trucks?
Man, there's definitely a ton of difference. You got at like Texas, a place like this, you got to watch your tires a little bit. Where on dirt you can pretty much run it as hard as the track will let you, for as long as you can. But place like this, you gotta watch tires a little bit more, which makes it fun. It changes it up a little bit. The fuel runs are fun. We didn't have a ton of cautions, which was nice, so we got to race it out a little bit more.
Yeah, man, I'm not sure I could stay concentrated that long. You getting those long green runs, and man, you stayed focused. You got a late caution that allowed you to get in between Sean and Brad there, and brought that 24 home P2. Man, great run as always by you, man. Who do you want to thank on that ride for a podium finish?
Just all the guys at Bandy built, Ross Cronette Velocity Race Designs. He paints all of our sprint cars, but Goldner actually painted this one, so I got to thank him for that, and all you guys for the broadcast and everyone for the league.
Yeah, man, great run, and have a good evening.
All right, appreciate it. You too.
All right, man. We'll get a word with your winner. Sean Grace moves up 1 from the start to put it in victory lane. Sean, this is Joe. You got me?
Yep, loud and clear.
Man, good run in the 27 machine. Kind of patience paid off. I thought you and Brad were going to run away from the field, man. The late caution came out. That had to that added some complexity to the whole deal, but man, you stayed calm and cool in the 27, drove it to victory lane. How'd you get there, and how was your ride?
Oh, the ride was awesome. I really just wanted to stay up there, at least within the top 3 all night, just to stay out of the wrecks and stuff. Everyone did a really good job tonight. I mean, we had a couple back-to-back cautions there, but other than that, man, everyone raced pretty clean tonight, kept their truck under them. Yeah, I thought me and Brad were gonna run away with it there, and I knew Brad was trying to save tires, so I was trying to lay back a little bit and save tires because you could you could pull away through 1 and 2 if you really knew what you're doing, but all you had to do was hold it wide open, and you were gonna catch the draft and gain it all back through 3 and 4. So it was all about managing the tires through 1 and 2, and then just holding it wide open and holding off any blocks. Kyle made a pretty good run at me there. He actually got me jacked up a little bit going into 1, and luckily he pushed a little bit and going into 1, or he might have had a shot at me.
Yeah, man. I was going to ask, how big is the draft here at Texas? I kept in my mind thinking if some of those cars in the back would get in line and chase you guys down, that might work. How big is the draft here?
The draft is pretty important, especially when you're on new tires. You can make up so much ground in a draft, but when you're in traffic and the tires get a little bit worn out, the draft can almost hurt you because you get a lot of aero push when the tires get worn out. So it can help you just as much as it can hurt you later on in the race. But if the tires are good, you can really make up a lot of ground in the draft.
Yeah, man, it seems like you didn't need to make up any ground at all. You stayed near the front. You moved up only 1 to take a victory here in week number 3, man. Great run by you, my friend. Who do you want to thank on that Red Bull machine for your victory?
All the Vanderbilt boys, Golden always does our paints for him. I forgot to run his paint tonight, so I'm gonna probably hear about that one tomorrow. But definitely thanks to you guys for the broadcast. We always on Wednesday nights we turn it on in the race shop and watch our race over, and so it's fun to run 1, 2, 3. Kyle's my cousin, and then Brad's one of my best buds, so we're all good friends there. So it's fun to run 1, 2, 3 like that.
Yeah, man. Tell me about this race shop. You mentioned the race shop. What do you got going on?
Me, Brad, and Kyle, we race late models and street stocks and modifieds. So we work in the shop all week, and then we take Tuesday nights off to run here.
That's awesome. Where do you guys run at?
Plymouth, Angola, mostly tracks around northeastern Indiana.
Man, that's awesome. That is awesome. And the 3 of you finished up front, so you don't have to look very far. You're all 3 being the same frame this week. So, man, great run. Congratulations on the victory, and I wish you luck in your real ride.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That is Hometown Heroes brought to you by Cool Ray tonight. Trucks closed out the show, did a really good job. I'm not sure about the broadcaster. Asphalt's definitely different than the hustle and bustle of dirt tracks. So I greatly appreciate everybody for tuning in. And until next time, we'll see you.
My name's Nick Powers, and I'm the president and lead instructor of Warfighter Scuba. I'm a veteran of the United States Marine Corps from the years 2003 to 2007, with 1 combat deployment to Haditha, Iraq in 2006. Throughout my time overseas, I experienced a lot of situations that you wouldn't necessarily find yourself in the United States. IEDs, getting shot at, rocket attacks, mortar attacks, you name it, it happened. When I got out of the Marine Corps in 2007, I tried to adjust back to civilian life, and the whole time you're in, you just can't wait to get out. And when you get out, you start to realize, did you make the right decision? 9 times out of 10, most of the guys that get out, they immediately plummet into a depression cycle because you don't have that structure anymore that the military provides you. And this hit me super hard. We moved to one of the #1 top dive destinations in the entire world, and I figured I'd start getting back into scuba diving. And after our first couple dives, I realized how peaceful it was underwater and how none of my problems followed me. You're just there in the present moment. I had the idea for Warfighter Scuba, and I kind of hinted at it, and they said, "You go for it." And that's basically how Warfighter Scuba was born. So Warfighter Scuba is a nonprofit. We're a 501c3 nonprofit with the IRS. We bring combat wounded veterans down to the Caribbean to teach them scuba diving to treat their wounds. Whether their wounds are physical or mental, such as PTSD, scuba diving is a extremely therapeutic activity for mental stressors and for physical ailments. Mentally, as soon as you go underwater, your body just reacts. It's not normal. You're not meant to breathe underwater. Automatically puts you into the present moment. You have nothing but peace and calm. This ability to separate yourself from reality really allows veterans to find out what their trigger mechanism might be for their particular mental stressors. So every veteran who comes through our programs gets a 100% funded trip. Each veteran also receives a round-trip ticket from their home of record. That ticket will bring them straight into Roatan, and their entire week stay, their hotel, their meals, their snacks, everything's paid for. So that veteran can get an entire week away from reality and completely separate from any kind of problems they might be facing at home. So each veteran receives very private and intimate training sessions when they come down to Roatan. You know, we first start in the pool, we do some confined water skills, we'll then switch out to the open water dives. From that point on, it's not even training anymore, it's just fun. It's learning on a level that I don't think most people have experienced before. We do all the certifications for them that we can in a week at their pace, you know, from open water to full face mask to nitrox. Every trip that we have, whether it's one veteran or 4 veterans at a time, we just have a blast. You know, there's no bad karma. We've seen sharks, we've seen turtles. I mean, we've seen 4 eagle rays at once. I mean, just the things that happen when we're in the water together are truly, they're just unbelievable. The dedication that these vets have now to scuba diving and to wanting to come back and to help other veterans experience what they've experienced, it hits me in the heart more than most things have ever hit me in my heart. It's truly an honor to take, you know, these heroes into the water. It's really cool to see the transformation that happens to them, you know, from being, oh my gosh, you know, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do this. You know, I've gone snorkeling a few times, or, you know, I'm not that good of a swimmer. And the funny thing about scuba is none of that matters. You know, you're completely weightless in the water. You could come down and have 0 experience in the water and be one of the better scuba divers out there. So as with all nonprofits, we rely solely on generous donors such as yourselves. None of these programs could exist without people who are willing to give some of their hard-earned money up to save veterans who might be struggling with everyday life and have that unfortunate thought of suicide. 100% of every dollar that's donated goes directly to the veterans. I personally, myself, I do not take any kind of money. All my time is donated. There's no salary to anybody who's on the board or any staff positions in Warfighter. Donations can be made on our website at www.warfighterscuba.org. And remember, every donation is 100% tax deductible.